Welcome to the technologycloset.com and our quick shots. In this quick shot, we're going to show you how to use Bitlocker. Why would we use Bitlocker? It is an encryption utility that will allow you to encrypt either your whole hard drive or an attached device, such as a USB stick. This is important if you have sensitive data and you have to transport it between an office and your home, for example, in the case of a USB stick, and you lose that stick. What happens to it? Someone finds it, they can have access to whatever sensitive data is on there. We want to avoid that. We want to protect the data from prying eyes. Let's set up Bitlocker. First, make sure you have an external USB or a USB disk attached to your system. Let's go to right mouse click on the start screen, go to All Apps, scroll over to the right and select Control Panel. Now in the Control Panel settings, as you can see here, it's in the condensed mode. If we select Category and select Small Icons, we'll get all of the administrative features in Control Panel, including the one we're looking for, Bitlocker Drive Encryption. Now this Bitlocker Drive Encryption is only available on Windows 8 Professional. Let's select Bitlocker Drive Encryption. As you can see, we have a BitLocker turned off on our C drive. That means we do not have a encrypted hard drive. Should we do that, simply turn it on and it will go and ask you for a password. You give it a password and then it will start the encryption process. However, on today's large hard drives, this could take quite a while to encrypt. We're only going to demonstrate, though, using Bitlocker to go, as they call it, for removable drives. In this case, I have a removable drive labeled E, and I'm going to turn on Bitlocker. Click on the drive, click on Turn on Bitlocker. Now, choose what you want to unlock this device. Now, we're going to choose, you can use something called a smart card. Most of us don't have that, but we do have is a password. Please select a password that is at least 8 characters and has a mixture of numbers and letters. And try to remember it, because if you don't remember it, you will not be able to recover your data. Check mark. Click on Use Password, and let's put in a password. First, let's put in a password that is not proper. As you can see, just 3 dots. I'm going to select Next. Bitlocker says, password provided does not meet the minimum length requirements. That's why it's important. This is too guessable. This is too easy. So let's make it more difficult. Choose whatever you wish. And repeat the password. And select Next. If it meets the requirements, there we go. Now you can save your key code, which is important if you do forget your password. You can save your key code to your Microsoft account. You could save it to a file, or you could print it. I would recommend that you don't print it. If you have a Microsoft account, well, you're putting it up on that account, and it by its nature is unencrypted. So you're having to trust the account. You could save it to a file. Save it to a file, at least in the file you could take that off and save that somewhere else, and at least you'll know where it is. I like to save to a file, and it comes up with Bitlocker Recovery Key, and it has a lot of numbers and letters after it, and I'm going to save it to the desktop. As you can see, it has put the key on our desktop. I'm going to select Next. Encrypt used disk space or encrypt the entire drive. In this particular case, I'm going to encrypt the disk space because that is default. That is the quickest. And I'm going to start the encryption process. Okay, the encryption process is now completed. Let's close the dialog box. You'll notice now that the hard drive, in this case BitLocker E, gives me options. I can back up the key, change the password, remove the password, add smart card, turn on and off the BitLocker. We're going to leave it turned on. We have sensitive data on this drive, and we want it to be transportable and not worry about its contents getting into the hands of individuals who might want to use our data for other means. Let's demonstrate now whether BitLocker is really, truly in effect. Okay, now we're going to test to see if our drive is truly encrypted. And can we get into it? Let's go to the desktop. Let's go to the file finder. Select Computer. There's our removable disk showing the key and the lock closed. Double click on it. It tells us that we need to enter a password. If we don't enter the proper password, we cannot get into the drive. Let's enter the password. If this is correct, it should let us in. Now the lock is unlocked. Open up the disk drive, and we're in. Well, that's BitLocker, and that concludes this quick shot. Please visit our website at thetechnologycloset.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time.